And so then, yeah, now for the fact for the format for that.
So is the goal of this to look at a cylinder and use a formula to solve the cylinder?
So he makes a good point. You need to go identify what is going to be your student outcome.
Small perfect squares.
Okay. So you just go to your student learning and do it? Will they also use square symbols to solve and represent solutions? Why not in this lesson?
Because they have only been doing positive square root in order to, and so they're being introduced to negative square root and try to get them equation.
What did you say, two?
Just two. Right in one lesson. Wait. Right, they have to get the future and say all that, try to get all that foundation work out.
Where is it?
That are some of the practices we need to put in.
And they didn't understand that base is
The area of base.
the area of and that it's not just diagonal.
What did you guys have for instructional strategies?
Going to start out because you have to be.
Here it says single digit.
I had a logarithmic number line, so having a get ADL instructional.
So we're going to start. You got an idea of what is to take place in your building on next Friday. To unpack the standard. So the first thing we were getting you familiar with the two documents. Your ultimate goal after unpacking a lesson is to get that lesson on this FFT template. You have thought through the standard. You have thought through an actual concept of the standard. Get it in the lesson template. What do you need to have prepared for next Friday? All of these things for teachers to plan with. Have them make them available to your team. The grade level documents, the lesson plan template, the UDL planning sheet. Remember, it's a more detailed UDL planning sheet on the Google site that provides some explanation. Those explanations are in red. It'll give you some samples of what you could do in that particular area. And then your collaborative planning organizers. You have two organizers. You have the map and you have that collaborative planning template. Those are the organizers that we're speaking of. What is support and resources you need to have developed?
A computer.
Internet access, computer, your textbook, your big ideas workbook for the students, anything that you can think of that supports that content area. Those are the things that you need to make available to your teachers on next Friday. Your biggest takeaway is in your folder. If you can complete that and leave it in the middle of the table, before you leave, you have the second round of hands-on standards. You need to sign out for your school. And we have Rosalind from Benjamin Starter who's going to share briefly.
While they're doing it, let's get one group and these shared their way.
Yeah, anybody
Almost finished. Just share what you have. Who wants to share? Who wants to share?
real quick.
Okay, come on, share. Okay, come on, share.
Share. She's easy.
All right, so for our essential questions or student outcomes, we said students will use various real-world objects to calculate the volume of a cylinder. How can we use real-world objects to find the volume of a cylinder? We didn't get to finish the definition. Instructional strategies, use real-life 3D cylinders to assist with understanding how to find the volume of a cylinder. We came up with a large list, but we just used soda can, swimming noodle, oatmeal container, for someone else said a toilet tissue roll, soup can. As far as the prerequisite skills, multiplication, identifying a cylinder, especially its parts, and measurement is going to be essential for prerequisite skills. Factual knowledge, formula for volume of a cylinder. We didn't get to these two, but we knew that this one was actually going to be the actual calculations of the cylinders that we're going to use. Manipulatives, we're going to use a calculator that can be utilized in the test, which was the TI-15. And for the vocabulary, the base, particularly the area of the base, we need to know the difference, and the height. That's as far as we got finished. There are several others, but we didn't get to finish.
You have Math 8 objectives that you need to extend. You need to make sure you couple them with the standard. Do not teach those in isolation. Do not wait till you finish the unit and then go in and try to pick up those objectives for extension for Math 8. Because those objectives were selected for a reason, because they pair well with the standard. So when you look at your Math 8 honors and you have your teacher groups next week, make sure they pay attention to those objectives that they have to extend and align them to the standards. So when they're teaching that particular standard, they go right to the extension. Don't wait till the end to extend. Remember that. Okay. All right. Anybody else do something different other than geometry? The geometry standard. Can you share right quickly the parts that you completed in Ms. LeBay's group, and then we'll go to Roslyn.
Okay.
Alright, so we had APE3, which is expressing quantities in terms of just an integer multiplied by a power of 10. So estimation using scientific notation, and then using those to compare relative sizes of objects. So as a definition, we just need basic definition of scientific notation, a rational number between 0 and 10 followed by integer power of 10. Prerequisite skills, converting among scientific and standard notation, rounding. And in this case, rounding is important because we're not dealing with the finesse part of scientific notation, it's using it as a heuristic. The idea that we don't need to know the mass of Mars to the nearest ounce, we just need to know that it's a few million times larger than Mercury or whatever. Possible misconceptions, assuming that the exponent deals with the number of zeros rather than the number of places that the decimal point is moving, and also negative exponents don't make the numbers negative. So essential questions. Given two values written in scientific notation, how can you determine the factor difference between them? How can you find a shortcut for this? It's not about the specific algorithm, it's about a heuristic. And also as outcomes, being able to estimate very large or very small quantities, express how much larger something is. And our applications came from astronomy, the realm of the very large, medicine, the realm of the very small, and also biology, where growth happens exponentially. And so you would never say that we have gained 6 million bacteria, we would say it was either a 10-fold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold increase.
So scientific notation is between 1 and 10.
0 and 9.
I mean,
One,
there were
yeah,
1
1
and
and
9. 1 and 9.
So
It has to be a number in front of, at least one number in front of the decimal point. Ideas for collaborative planning. Make sure you leave half of your sub and your evaluation, half of your subcode in the middle, and your evaluation filled out. Make sure you fill it out. Leave half in the middle with your evaluation.
All right, real fast. In my building, I work with 6th, 7th, and 8th grade teachers for collaborative planning, and each group, each team does it a little bit differently, but we kind of stumbled into it. I'm pretty sure that's what you guys are doing. And thank you for, your information today, because I'm gonna have to redo this. But basically, this is what we were starting to do. Our first step is to order the standards, and we use the smart board during collaborative planning. We have cutouts of all of the standards. So we have a discussion, and we can actually, make it bigger and say, no, I think that should be first, no, that should be second, and move it around, and we can print that once we get it finalized. So that's just the order, because we were like, we don't even know which order to put the standards in to start. Next was, after we get the order, if you teach algebra, I think it's 20-some standards, this is an algebra. So you wouldn't actually do this for each standard, you might want to do clusters of standards. And so we decided, instead of just doing this sheet, don't look at it the way it is now, we wanted to do charts for this sheet. And actually make it bigger because we couldn't fit everything we wanted to do. That is, that web, we wanted to actually cut out examples and put it on the chart. Assessment questions, different resources, which page, this is not complete. This is a draft version. So that's what that is. So a bigger version of that web. The CSI, that's something that the network and some of the turnaround IoTs in school. Because when we first did it, it was all on the board, and it was like a murder board or a CSI board. And so we said we're going to give it a name. It's like curriculum standards investigation or something. I don't know. That's what it was? Okay. And then one of our teachers, 6th grade, the Shuffler, she's so organized. This is not a picture of hers, but hers looks similar to this right here. She did file folders. So I actually Googled Common Core binders and file folders. These are pictures that I found. So this is a process that we're starting now. Like once you figure out the order of your standards, to actually gather and go on a hunt and look for all of the resources within the document, those live links, and actually print them out or however you want to organize it. Because this picture right here is like a file, a digital file. So create a file for yourself where you can easily access all of the different resources. And then right here, a basket, if you want to have manipulatives or everything else that you need for that standard or your task, put it, some type of organizer. And then the next step, and this is not complete, don't look at the way it is, but after we get all of the clusters and the standards in order and have it organized, we need to pace ourselves. When is the assessment going to be given? When are we going to teach what? When are we going to do the intro test, the pre-assessment, all that great stuff. Then after we get the calendar, we also want to do our 5-week lesson plan. And it doesn't look like that. So that's that.
Thank you.
Any feedback? It's changing and changing. Huh? I'm sorry.
Get your email address.
Rosalind.gaskins@pgcps.org. And Rosalind is Rosa and Lynn with 2 N's.
Could you put back up the site?
I'm sorry. Gaskins with an S. And I can't see how this guy is line. Trying to learn how to talk with it.
I'm sorry, can you give your email?
Rosalind